if Ember's really second pick material, but they do go ahead and pick it up for themselves, so perhaps just feeling confident that Excalibur will be able to put on a show in that mid lane with this Ember. It is still going to be up against an SF, which, arguably isn't the easiest lane in the world for the Ember, but it can go either way. We'll just have to see how where these drafts are headed after this final ban out from Singularity. And they are going to go ahead and ban out the Beastmasters. They go into that third pick and they immediately pick up the Rubik for themselves. Can't blame him for that. Rubik is a pretty darn good hero right now. Does tend to do a lot of work. Of course, we did see Suzuya, I believe it was. No, in fact, it was DNZ that was playing the Rubik last game, and he was making some very nice steals. It just didn't seem to matter in the end, unfortunately, for Singularity. But the loss definitely wasn't on DNZ, and I can't really blame him for just putting him back on the Rubik. Winstrike, though. Are we going to go a very similar draft once again? And obviously they've switched out the clock for the Nyx Assassin, as the clock was first phase banned. They won't have the option for that core Vengeful Spirit if they do want to run that a second time. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that was the most effective core Vengeful Spirit I've ever seen, but it did work in the end. Instead, they will go for the Grimstroke, which has also been a very, very popular position 4 in this meta. And it doesn't necessarily have any synergy with the other heroes yet, with that Soulbind, but it just doesn't seem to matter either. It just seems as though the Soulbind and the silence that Grimstroke has is enough, as well as the D push with the Stroke of Fate. This makes it very hard for Singularity to find any kind of towers, because it's just so easy to push out those creep waves with Stroke of Fate being available on your side. And well, Singularity, fourth pick for them now, they do start diving into that reserve time. Of course, we are waiting for some more core pickups. Now, I'm going to take the time with this one. Alright, we see the Abaddon come out. I mean, Abaddon's pretty darn good. It's very, it creates a bit of chaos in the team fights. It's very hard to keep track of what the Abaddon's doing. And of course, a Photic Shield with the Purge, that like just purging off all the disables on your own heroes is pretty nice. Borrowed Time makes it very hard to deal with the Abaddon, but overall, I didn't really see anything that you need the Aphotic Shield for. Like, I guess there is a stun, there is a fear, there's a silence. I guess it's still very useful. Seems like they just want to make sure this Ember is safe throughout these engagements and just is able to just do what he needs to do. Just remain mobile. The Winstrike. Fourth pick for them now. We have about a minute reserve time left. Of course, they are one game away from going straight through to the next round, where they will be up against aggressive mode, assuming they win this game. Aggressive mode, just patiently waiting for their opponent. I'm sure they're watching right now. And we do go back into the Lifestealer. If it works, no need to fix it. That's the motto Winstrike is living by at the moment. I suppose there isn't really anything to deal with the Lifestealer either this game. Not yet anyway. So Winstrike, they do just go back into it. You do also have a natural Infest carrier in the Nyx Assassin. It is quite easy to just pick up single pickoffs if you do go into the Vendetta, get the Infest off and just find somebody. So Singularity. Final ban out for them. They're going to need to find a way to deal with this Lifestealer, and I mean, I suppose there are plenty of options, but I thought the Medusa was the answer last game. Turns out it wasn't. We'll see the Timber ban out now from Singularity. The Singularity are still yet to pick up their own position 1. They do still have options like Troll available if they wanted to just go Troll up against the Lifestealer. That could work very well for them, and they do have the Abaddon to keep the Troll safe throughout the battle trance and just make sure he doesn't get disabled up throughout all of it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they do go for the Troll pick. Winstrike do have the option to ban it out right now though, and they may very well do so. Looks like they'll get rid of the Morphling instead, and, well, straight into the Darkseer. So again, we see a core pick for the offlane that we're not very used to seeing in this meta. First it was the Venge, and now the Darkseer popping up for Winstrike. And Singularity go for one of the most disgusting heroes in the game. The Arc Warden pops out. It is going to be a mid-Arc Warden by Excalibur, it looks like, and perhaps they're just going to put Zitrax on the position 1 Ember Spirit instead. I suppose that is one way to deal with the Lifestealer, is just don't deal with them at all and just keep split pushing lanes instead. And you can, of course, just get to the point where the Arc Warden 6-slotted before anyone else just takes over the game. You are up against the Nyx Assassin, though. So Excalibur is always going to have to be kind of concerned about where TSA is on this Nyx. So one thing Arc Warden doesn't exactly like is being caught out when he thinks he's safe farming his jungle. So Winstrike definitely do have a way to deal with this Arc Warden pick. I've got to say though, that the position 1 Ember Spirit into Darkseer just seems like it's not going to work very well for Team Singularity. He's just going to be able to spam Iron Shells over and over again, and while you do have the Flame Guard on Zitrax, it's going to get burnt through quite fast by those Iron Shells. Nevertheless, we get into game number 2 of this best of 3 series. Young G already saying have fun. Good sportsmanship from both sides. Always good to see.
What did you learn?
We'll have to see how much influence Zitrax can have on this POS 1 Ember. What kind of build do you go for? Like, do you just go for that physical build we've been seeing so often? Or do you go back into the utility or magic build of the Ember? Should really be physical this game up against the Lifestealer SF. You never know. Did just see the Rubik kind of revealing that he put an Observer Ward down in that top lane, because he did go for the hit on the Lifestealer when he shouldn't have been able to see him. So that should be a very easy D ward for Winstrike. Meanwhile, Winstrike sitting down there at bot as 3, hoping somebody comes forward. Zitrax, of course, would be a fantastic target if they could get it. They have plenty of damage to take him out. Looks like they will not fall for it though. SNG, they will stick by that tier 1 tower. That'll be a 2-for-2 trade on the bounties anyway, so it's still a very even start for both sides. And we get to see this lovely production value once again. Who wins out the block war this time? Last time Young G did win it, and it looks like this time he probably will win again, as Excalibur, he does miss just at the end. There is a first blood attempt going on down a bot lane. Winstrike actually taking out the full wave of creeps already, and that's going to make it very hard on Singularity. He's going to have to just try and farm up those creeps underneath his tier 1, and Ember isn't the greatest at getting creeps under tier 1 towers. Not at level 1 anyway. And already, they're just going to creep skip with the Darkseer, and I do love this. I think that is just the correct decision here from Winstrike. So we'll see Kid and DNZ having a go at each other. It's like DNZ won out that battle of harassment as Suzuya gets caught out by TSA, but Just a level 1 Impale, won't really do too much. Meanwhile, DK Phogos, he's did he just pull the mid creep wave as well? I'm not really sure if he did, but it looks like he got away with it. And something I haven't really seen before from a Darkseer. In fact, maybe he didn't. Maybe he is just controlling the bot waves. Just stacking them up. As again, we'll see TSA and Suzuya going at it. TSA forced to run away this time though. Suzuya didn't even have mana for the Frost Blast if he wanted to. Once again, at this top lane, Hester Joe is struggling a little bit on this Abaddon. DK Phogos. We finally see Suzuya rotate to try and counter this a little bit. You've got to have at least one support there harassing out this Darkseer and providing some sort of some punishment towards this Iron Shell spam. But now there is going to be a gank attempt. TSA sets up with the Iron Shell and he's just going to have to follow him down with this Iron Shell spam. DK Phogos does find the first blood on the Darkseer. Winstrike already off to a fantastic start going into this game too. And this is going to be a very, very rich Darkseer. Though I have to give it as well to the Ember Spirit, who is finding every single CS underneath this tier 1 tower. Currently 19-0 on the Ember. Not really struggling at all. And so while the Darkseer is going to have a lot of farm, so is this Ember Spirit. This top lane, we will see a bit of a dive onto the Lifestealer, but Inkswell will be there. Hester Joe, Aphotic Shield does pop. DNZ going to start moving forward, but doesn't have Fade Bolt available. So the LS will be perfectly fine. Kiki, though, maybe not so much, as Hester Joe is going to make the chase down. There is a bit of a creep blocking his way, but it doesn't matter. Kiki has been caught out, does get silenced, and they do claim the kill on this support Grimstroke. This poor Lifestealer has been left alone, and DNZ is just going to chase him down with Hester Joe. Another Aphotic Shield popping, they get the lift off as well. This Lifestealer understands he's just dead. DNZ even all chatting while this is happening. And SNG find a double kill on Hester Joe very early on in that off lane. And I was saying Hester Joe was struggling a little bit, but it seems as though he's turned this lane around. I mean, just looking at the CS of Zitrax on this Ember, it's going to be a little bit concerning for Winstrike. 29-0 now, he's just pulling the creep wave over to the neutral creeps and getting even more efficiency out of these waves. Just looking back over to mid, Young G has been having a great old time on the SF. So far, beating out Excalibur on the Arc Warden. Neither hero really has been going at it with each other. They've just been trading CS the best they can. Kiki, top lane, gonna get lifted again. Inkswell gonna be there, but won't really connect on Hester Joe. Nevertheless, SNG are gonna be able to secure both top bounties. And bot lane, there could be a bit of action going on. Unfortunately, I'm not in control of the camera right now, but looks like there is a bit of an attempt on the Ember's life. Zitrax does manage to walk away anyway. Again, Hester Joe going to go back onto this Lifestealer. Aphotic Shield going to pop. And, well, Suzuya has joined in on the Lich. DNZ now going to move in, but the Rage has been used. Kiki, though, not going to be too safe. He doesn't have Rage available on himself. TSA, though, going to come in now with an Impel onto Hester Joe, and they should be able to find a very nice trade. As DNZ just going to be forced to TP out on the Rubik. But you're not going to be too mad about that if you are Winstrike. Losing your support Grimstroke for an Abaddon kill. Very nice indeed. That'll make it a 3-2 at 6 minutes in. And DK Fogos still going at it with this creep wave. Still just stacking them up and iron chilling them down. It seems Singularity really hasn't found an answer to this Darkseer yet. Should have a very, very quick pipe up on this Darkseer, considering this farm. Excalibur. Gonna feed a remnant away, though Young G gets lifted up by DNZ, and this could be a nice kill onto this SF. He's trying to heal up throughout all this, but the Wraith was following, and eventually does secure the kill for Excalibur. Great rotation from DNZ, and it looks like Young G was not happy as nobody called the Rubik miss. Now again, they're going to try and dive this Lifestealer, but he'll just turn around with Kikid now. Inkswar going to be there. Hester Joe can't really run away from this. Stroke of Fate can come in, but there's the Frost Shield coming out from Suzuya, and they'll just try and turn around now. Not really going to be too concerned. Top lane, is there a gank going on? Looks like it's just Suzuya. Getting harassed a bit by this Lifestealer, but again Hester Joe gonna start rushing forward. Won't find an attack on this Lifestealer this time. We will see a smoke though from Winstrike. TSA and Fogos once again go into the mid lane where they do go straight after Excalibur. Surge is there, Excalibur has no way out of that. It's a very easy pick off, but now Zidrax actually rotates up TSA, gonna fall to that tier 1 tower damage. You're still gonna be very satisfied with that trade. And Young G even getting very, very lucky, finding himself a double damage rune now. They may just try and go again for another pick off, or perhaps he might just try and force in that tier 1 mid a bit. Singularity though, they're just taking it slow. No need to rush for them. You can always rely on Excalibur in the later stages of the game. Though we did say that in the first game about his Medusa, and it didn't really work out in the best way. Excalibur apparently a 0% win rate so far on the Arc Warden. Looks like he copped a Spike Carapace. I'm not sure who he's chasing right now. Impale gonna be there. I'm not sure why we're still looking at that kind of vision. TSA gonna manage to walk away as Young G will come in now and try to get the Remnant. Of course, every time he does get the Remnant, it is a direct 180 gold. So it's a lot of gold you're giving away to this SF every time he catches it out. TSA going to be the target of a gank attempt from DNZ, but he's not able to get in range for a lift. They do get the Flux off though. TSA lifted up, and a very easy kill. Like once Excalibur gets the ability to actually just drop the Wraiths on his head, it's not really a hard kill at all. It's going to make it a 6-3 now. There is still a 1k lead though for Winstrike. They are looking very, very good in all this. SNG just keep farming up as Hester Joe going to be the target of a gank attempt. Does he really not have borrowed time? No, he doesn't. It was actually on cooldown for another 3 seconds. That was actually perfectly timed from Winstrike, as now Young G going to get jumped by Excalibur. Requiem not going to be there. Looks like he's trying to TP up but won't make it in time. Excalibur claims himself a very important kill. SNG now really grouping up in that mid lane. In fact, Zirax even joins in on the Ember. And they start setting up for that mid tier 1 push. TSA getting spotted by DNZ. Zirax already having a very, very early Crystallis up on the Ember. So a lot of damage is there. From the side of Singularity now, they can definitely take a team fight. Stroke of Fate not really going to delay things too much. Hester Joe already rushing forward to try and find the Grimstroke, but won't get so lucky. Now TSA, Vendetta up. They'll spot out Zitrax, has the Iron Shell as well. They may be able to just pick off an easy kill like DNZ, but he's immediately going to TP out. Hester Joe now, going to slow down Kikid a little bit. Inkswell, does it land? It does. They catch the Abaddon, but he will have the borrowed time available. They'll just chase him down though. Hester Joe has no way out of this now as the Impel does land and Young G does claim a very easy kill. In fact, the Lifestealer actually found Suzuya on the Lich while that was happening to boot. So 2 kills going to the way of Winstrike once again. And they smoke up. No Vendetta this time, but they probably won't need it as Excalibur. That's going to be his Tempest double. Still going to be 180 gold. You can't be too upset about that. Again, Young Chi will claim it on the SF. And Suzuya may get caught out here. Do they have Surge? Phogos, he wasn't enraged to surge up his Nyx Assassin. Instead though, Kikid does get chained up and does cop a Stroke of Fate from the Rubik DNZ moving in, but now the Soulbind's there. Requiem coming out, Young G. They want to try and turn this. They'll start rushing forward. TSA, can you find a stun? He can't quite yet, so they want to get out now. He does get it onto DNZ, but it looks like they're at least going to get one for the side of Singularity, and it is going to be the Nyx Assassin TSA going down. Kikid now trying to TP out, but it's just too much damage coming out. Hester Joe, he'll pick up the kill on the Abaddon. Singularity, two quick kills, and that'll be enough. Kind of surprised. I mean, it looked like Winstrike were going to be able to win that team fight, but they just had the low ground disadvantage. It was a very nice Requiem setup though from Young G. SNG will be able to secure their first tier 1 tower of the game. Winstrike will do the exact same thing though down at the bot lane. Pretty standard stuff with those tier 1 trades. They are going to try and force in a tier 2 though. With the Curse of Avernus from Abaddon, you can do this quite early on. It's amplifying everyone's attack speed. Fortification though will be popped. That should be enough to force SNG back, but no, apparently it's not. They want to keep going. Well, Winstrike, they're kind of focused in the mid lane, so they'll just keep going after this tier 2. Is there a fight breaking out? It looks like there isn't quite yet, but they were trying to find the mid tier 1. They aren't able to take it. Excalibur was there to defend with DNZ and Suzuya. And instead, SNG, they claim that top tier 2 tower, and Winstrike find absolutely nothing for their trouble. Singularity just in a great position to pull off this game 2 victory so far. In fact, they may find the Lifestealer. He does rage TP. Got no way to cancel that. He does get out. SNG will continue just roaming around, trying to find another pickoff. So every pickoff they find generally will mean a tower going down. DNZ looks like he has spotted out where this LS is. Still, does he want to fight? Lift is going to be there immediately, and they do take the bounty room, but the Lifestealer turning around, but now he will see Hester Joe and Suzuya. That'll be enough to back off, though. Excalibur actually going down up at the top lane. Another Tempest double being given away to Young G. Oh, bot lane. Hester Joe. Inkswell will stun him up. He does have borrowed time, and now the Lifestealer could be in trouble. He will rage away. Young G, TPing down on the SF. They want to try and go for the fight now. SNG, do you get a little overly confident? They do get a lift off. This LS falling low on the remnants. Just blow him up. Young G needs to get out now. Zitrax, he finds a secondary. In fact, they find the third. And it just seems to go back to Zitrax just being able to farm every single creep under his tier 1. He just has so much farm on this Ember. He's gone double Crystallis for that added value. And he just feels so confident to just keep going for these team fights. They'll claim another tier 1 tower while they're at it. And Winstrike so far just don't seem to have an answer. To be fair, we haven't really seen DK Phogos getting involved in these team fights yet on the Darks here. We haven't seen any vacuum walls either. Looks like he has just been focused on continually farming up. It appears he is rushing the Guardian Greaves now. Or at least a mech. But there is going to be a team fight. Zitrax, he jumps in mid, but Soulbite is going to be there with the vacuum and double impale. It is going to be quite huge, but the problem is there was borrow time and Hester Joe, and they didn't really focus down Zitrax, in which case they'll continue chasing Hester. He will eventually go down, and now the Lifestealer wants to keep going with that surge. Instead, they will just settle for the Tempest double. And again, it's going to be Young G picking it up on the SF. Singularity. That team fight looked like it was going to be pretty good for them after the initial impale. They'll find TSA anyway. TSA not really respecting the damage Zitrax can output with that Sleight of Fist right now. But Winstrike showing signs of life. They'll continue to farm up, and perhaps they're just waiting on DK to have that max vacuum up before they take a real team fight. Of course, level 1 vacuum doesn't really do much, but it is at level 3 now at least. We have to keep an eye out as well to see if DK Phogos does opt to go for the Aghanim Scepter upgrade on the Darks here. That can be very, very potent. Still, SNG going to go ahead and try and secure a Roshan while Winstrike isn't really watching. And there will be absolutely zero reaction from Winstrike. They have no clue this is happening. SNG. Just take a free Roshan. They have the damage. Winstrike, they were eventually making their way up to that mid lane, but it was just all too late. Singularity, are they smoking up? They just huddle up together right now. There is a smoke available on Suzuya. They will opt to just push out the mid lane. Zitrax is holding the Aegis on that Ember Spirit, so he's going to be a very, very hard target to control. We will see a BKB though come out on Young G, so we may see a smoke. In fact, another Tempest double going down. Winstrike just don't seem to be really ready to take a team fight yet. Of course, they don't really want to fight into Aegis anyway, so they might just try and drag it out, but eventually one of their tier 2s is going to start getting pushed in. And it may be the mid tier 2 as Young G is there to defend, but there's a lot of Singularity heroes around that area waiting to jump in on this SF if they can. They do start showing themselves now. Even a Deso being picked up by Zitrax, he's just going to be hitting so hard. TSA going to be able to set up on Excalibur. This will be a massive kill. Young G, do you have the damage output? Requiem going to be there, and they just blow him up. Again, getting the Tempest double on Young G. TNT stealing the Requiem and just popping it immediately, but doesn't quite find anybody. Now the 10-second charge being popped by Young G. He just rushes in after Suzuya. There will be a Soulbind connecting Hester Joe and DNZ. They have nowhere to go into the vac wall of DK Phogos, and they're just getting blown up right now. Hester Joe's the only one left, but it will not matter. He goes down. And Zitrax looks like he was trying to find a way into the team fight, but it was just too late by the time he came around. And that's just going to be a huge win for Winstrike. Like, they fought into the Aegis of Ember Spirit, but they just made it work. It's just a lot of golden XP going to this Dire's side now. puts Singularity in a bit of an awkward position because they've got this Aegis that they want to commit. But as time goes on, Winstrike are getting more items, they're getting stronger. And Singularity, they may never find the option or find the chance to really commit this Aegis. You think they'd feel pretty confident with that Deso up on Zitrax, but they're not really grouped up. They're just getting back to farming on the Radiant side. It's late. Whoa. Zitrax has lost the Aegis, so he does commit it eventually. Only problem is, it wasn't really for anything. At least he does get the Requiem expended, and they pretty much missed everything to try and stop him. In fact, they get the lift off on the SF Young G. He has the BKB up. The Lifestealer already fighting Suzuya, and now again they're just getting blown up. Hester Joe. Borrowed time will be there, but for how long? He does manage to TP out in time. The Lifestealer is still making a chase, going after DNZ on the Rubik. And we're going to follow this Phantom all the way down to Hester Joe, who does eventually clear it out. That was a very, very strange position from this Ember Spirit. Perhaps just feeling overly confident, but again, you're up against a Nyx Assassin. You don't have sentry wards up in that mid lane, so you can't just go there and farm up as if it's free. SNG, they'll have to reset. They're behind 5k net worth now to Winstrike. And TSA going to be able to keep tabs on where Singularity are, though he is directly underneath the sentry ward. Very dangerous position for him. In fact, he stands outside of the range now. They spot him out. Remnant in. Zitrax gets the chains off. They still don't see him though. Do they have more detection? No, in fact they do. They get the lift off. He was just in range of the sentry. SNG just going to warn up their jungle. Make sure TSA can't roam freely through it. Won't really bother Winstrike too much though. Like, they've got a huge advantage in net worth. They're just going to keep farming up now. I mean, we haven't really seen much split pushing coming out from Excalibur on the Arc Warden either. Like, it just doesn't seem like there's any pressure being applied through these Tempest doubles. If anything, these Tempest doubles have just been feeding Young G on the SF. Pretty much how his net worth has gone so high on this Shadow Fiend. There's 180 gold every single time, and we've seen it at least 5 times. Strike. Again, going to start roaming through that Radiant side jungle. Nice Mindregger being found by the Lifestealer as well, and that will be very, very effective up against the Ember. SNG going to have to start preparing to defend that bot lane. Perhaps they just leave it though, and it looks like that is going to be the choice. Winstrike, they take the tower now, and it looks like they have smoked up, going straight into the side of Singularity. They had wards, so they know exactly where they are. TSA, he wants to run around. Just want that perfect position. Singularity seem to know something's up, so they do take the high ground. They have the advantage. DNZ going to be down bot though, and this could be really bad as Winstrike, they are starting to make their way there. The Young G does get spotted by the Tempest double, and the rest of Singularity have gone. So everyone does barely manage to get out in time. Even Zirax just split pushing that bot lane. He's just going to TP out. And so the smoke really ends up being for naught. What are those items queued up? 2 Datalises, a Divine Rapier, and a BKB for this Ember Spirit. Well, I'd love to see that. That's Kiki. Pretty far forward. TSA as well. They haven't really got their whole team in that mid lane. And they are going to get caught out now. The Lifestealer being the first one. Bubble being dropped by the Tempest double. Excalibur, he is going to drop low on the Tempest double, but does still have the real one alive. DNZ though, Impel will connect. Frost Shield to try and protect him, but he's really got no way out of this. And again, Singularity on the back foot, just trying to run away. Suzuya gets vacuumed back. It's going to be the second support being picked off. And Winstrike, do you really try and force an early tier 3 tower? Well, why the hell not? In fact, they're going to find Hester Joe, forcing the buyback out from Suzuyu as well. Hester Joe committed a very, very early borrowed time. TSA almost goes down to the sleight of fist of the Ember. Remnants forward. Zitrax really wants that kill and does find it with the secondary sleight of fist. And that'll stop any kind of tier 3 push happening. Young G, though, has a butterfly up now, so he may just want to try and turn and fight again. Even a Lotus Orb now coming out on the Darkseer. Yeah, they do. Kikid, he's going to go in with the Glimmer Cape, gets the silence off. Zitrax, how do you get out of this? The Soulbind going to be there. Requiem, Vacuum Wall, onto 4 heroes. They all melt. Excalibur trying to run away with this BKB, but it's not going to matter. Or maybe it does. Maybe he just outruns them. They should eventually be able to find him as DNZ does steal the wall. He does manage to barely get away, but now they'll find DNZ on the Rubik instead. More buybacks to come from Singularity. But Winstrike, just such a dominant team throughout this series so far. Rushing forward onto Excalibur, they get the open wounds off. He puts the bubble down, but this Lifestealer, he's not done yet. He wants to continue chasing with the Inkswell. They get the kill. Hester Joe now popping borrowed time, but it's not going to matter. Young G, he gets DNZ on the Rubik, and there's only one hero left standing. Nobody else has buybacks. And Winstrike, they may have just won this game. And there it is, GG's been called. They've had enough. Singularity, they are out of the EGB Arena of Blood tournament. And Winstrike, they do make it through to the next round, where they will be versing aggressive mode in a best of 3. And that is our next series of the night. Now, whether that starts straight away or not is a different story, because it is currently scheduled to start an hour and 20 minutes from now. And last time, we did have to wait about an hour and a half. So I'm going to double check with the guys in charge and see whether we are sticking to schedule or whether we're just going to start straight away. And I'll try to keep you guys updated. It is MLP Dota. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. And again, I'll let you guys know when the next series is planned to start. Hopefully it won't be too long.